Hello, welcome, and today we are going to learn the types of pl-sql block. What are the two types of pl-sql block we have? We have actually two types of pl-sql block. One is the anonymous pl-sql block and another is the named block. The meaning of anonymous pl-sql block is this pl-sql block does not have a name and does not get saved into the database. By database we mean the Oracle database. So in this anonymous pl-sql block, we are not giving a name to this pl-sql block. Apart from the anonymous pl-sql block, we also have a named pl-sql block. A named pl-sql block is a pl-sql block which has a header. That is, it has a header section, and there you have defined a name, just like how you define a table, how you define a DDL statement, like you define a create table statement. Similarly, here also we define the name of the pl-sql block with the help of a create statement, and this block is definitely, this data is definitely getting saved in our data dictionary into the database. While talking about the named blocks, we have two types of named blocks. One is the procedures and another is the functions. Now, if you have learned other programming languages, you know what is meant by procedure. It is basically a group of statements which form a subprograms. And procedures in pl-sql do not return a value. You can definitely return a value with the help of some parameters which can be passed as reference, but it does not have an implicit return statement. That is a procedure. And function is something, it is also a type of subprogram, but it has a return statement. That is, you can return a value to the main block, programming block, with the help of this function. Like we can create a procedure like this, create or replace procedure. Here, create or replace procedure is the header section, which is optional in case of anonymous pl-sql block. You can see here, create or replace procedure. This is the header section, and this part is the execution section. The begin and end is the execution section. Here we do the execution steps, that is whatever the statements which need to be executed has to be kept inside this block. We'll soon learn about the structure of this block, but for now just know that this section which is on the top is the header section, which is optional in anonymous pl-sql block. Here when we are doing it in the case of procedure, it gets saved into the database with the help of a notification, say procedure created. Similarly, function is also a type of named pl-sql block, but it has a return statement. You can see there is a return statement. We are creating a function called find sal, that is for finding an employee with a particular salary, finding the salary of an employee, and here we are passing something as a parameter, and we are returning the salary as a number. So we will go into the detail when we are learning the function, but for now I want to tell you that this is the header section. Create or replace function in line number 1 is the header section of the block. What is then the structure of a pl-sql block? Because we have not started with pl-sql block yet, so what is the structure of a pl-sql block? Here it consists of 4 sections. One is the header section, next is the declaration section, the third is the execution section, and the fourth is the exception handling section. These are the 4 sections of a pl-sql block which we have. Header section, I just told you, the header section is optional in the anonymous pl-sql block. It is only compulsory in the named pl-sql block, that is when you have to define procedures and functions. In the declaration section, as the name suggests, it is used to declare the variables. And in the execution section, all the executable statements like SQL statements, as well as the assignment statements or the print statement, input statement, anything which you want to perform, it will be defined in the execution section. And this exception or error handling section is a section which is also optional, and it is defined if you want to handle particular runtime exceptions, runtime errors, which are also called exceptions. So it is like this. You can define the header, then you are writing declare, and after you can define the variables which you want to declare. Then you define the begin, and within the begin and end the execution should be there, and we have the exception sections inside. So what is the header? It's relevant for name blocks only. The header determines the way in which the name block or program must be called. So the header includes, in case of procedure, it will include the name, the parameter list, and in case of function, it will include the return clause. In the declaration section, you can start with this resolve keyword called declare section, and inside this you can declare variables, constants, cursors, etc. This section is also optional. What are the rules of writing a pl-sql block? So like other programming, every other programming languages, pl-sql block also, Oracle pl-sql block also has certain rules. Now every statement in the pl-sql block has to terminate with a semicolon. That is, if you want to get it detected as a statement, you have to terminate with a semicolon. Next, the blocks can be nested within another blocks. You can have nested blocks, one within another, but the inner blocks have to be closed before the outer blocks. That is, first the inner blocks, if it is opened, it has to be closed, and then the outer blocks will be closed. Comments can be used to document code. Comments are C-style comments. Then you can write data definition statements like create, drop, alter. They are not allowed. They are not allowed in the pl-sql block. You can use DML statements like select, then we have delete, then we have update, insert. All these statements are allowed in the pl-sql block. Creation of an anonymous pl-sql block. How do we create a new pl-sql block? The anonymous block is a type of pl-sql block which has no name associated with it. So here you do not have to name this section. You do not have any header section. Here you directly start with declare. You use declare only if you have some variables to declare. If you do not require any variables in your pl-sql block, you don't need to declare them also. So like for example, we want to create a pl-sql block which insert 3 records into the product bill table. Okay, so this is the record number 1, which includes the bill number, the date when you have done the billing, then the name of the customer, then we have this is the product or the washing machine which you have bought, quantity, and this is the price. So like this we have 3 records. We want to insert these 3 records in the pl-sql block. So generally what we do, we open the command line and we directly write insert query inside insert query directly in the command prompt. The command prompt looks like this. As you know, this is our command prompt, SQL command prompt, where you can connect like this. You can connect to your SQL prompt, and here you can, if you already have a table, you can insert record inside the table. Now instead of writing into the pl-sql block, we are writing directly into the instead of writing into the command prompt, we are directly writing into the pl-sql block like this, begin and end. How do we write it? So what we do is basically we open a notepad, we type this thing, and then we run this into the command prompt. Okay, so what we do is here you can directly type it in the command prompt, or you open a notepad, you type this inside the command prompt, and then you run it here. So like this, what will happen, this instead of running the queries one by one, you run the query in a block. That is, together you are running 3 queries in a bulk. which is quite fast. That is, you do not have to trip to the server again and again. You take a trip to the server again and again. You can do you can take 10 records together to the server, get it processed and come back. So that improves the performance. As well as you have the privilege of changing, if you have any errors, you have the privilege of opening the notepad and changing the query. You do not have to type the query again. Now here, for example, we can directly create a table, and I can show you how to create a pl-sql block. So just look into the command prompt. For example, I just want to create a table. So create, I'm writing the create table statement. You know DDL statement is not allowed inside the pl-sql block. So DDL statement means data definition language statement, create, alter, drop, everything we have to write it inside the command prompt only, inside the SQL command prompt only. We cannot write inside the pl-sql block. For example, we can create a table like this with the fields. We are typing this. Okay, so we have 3 fields considered: the ID, name and the price. We are trying to keep it simple so that I don't lead unnecessary errors. You can see, we can see this table created option. That means my table has been created. Now what I can do is, generally I insert records directly here. Insert into table values. Like this we insert the record. For example, so we have number. So we insert a product, shampoo, and so the query is wrong. Insert into, you have to give the name of the table. Name of the table is product. So we've inserted the query like this. Like this you can insert several queries by changing the values. But the problem with this type of query is that I have to again and again connect to the server. That is, if the server is a remote server and I am sitting at the client, I have to connect to the server again and again, and it takes time. That is, I need 2 trips for one record. So what I can do is, I can insert the queries in a bulk in a pl-sql block. That will save my time as well as my performance. It will increase my performance. So what I do is, I create this entire thing in a notepad, and I can run this as a pl-sql command, as an anonymous pl-sql block. So what I need to do is, I open a notepad. You can see I have opened a notepad. Now here you can write the anonymous pl-sql block. What you have to write? See, in an anonymous pl-sql block, the only block which is compulsory is the execution block. That is, you have to write this begin and end statements. So inside this you can write the queries for inserting the product. See, I have kept the primary key, product ID is primary key. 101 and 102 have already inserted, so I am inserting 103. And suppose I insert some electronic product like mobile. I put the price. Like this, I insert 3 more records. And Samsung Note. So okay, so with this we are finished with this. I finished with this pl-sql block, and you can see now as I told you, this block does not get saved anywhere in the database, so we have to save it somewhere, otherwise we lose this data. So I'll save it in my C drive or any drive which you seem like which you fits in, anywhere you where you have space, you can save that. So I'm saving with the name of prod-insert.sql. Okay, I am saving it in T drive. Click on save. The file is saved, so what I need to do is I need to run this file now. So I am in the command prompt, so I write a simple command, get d drive / prod-insert.sql, and you can see this has come, and here we just have to run it using /. Okay, it shows unexpected end of file. So what does it mean? This end command has to be terminated with a semicolon, and I have missed that semicolon, so I'll just insert that semicolon here. I save it again and run this program again. Now this term is completed. How do I know that the data has been inserted? I just do select star. Okay. You can see all the products which I have inserted through the pl-sql block has been successfully inserted. Now one more important part of the pl-sql block is the print statement. We generally need the print statements, very important, because we want to print some output to the user, and here it is little different. We have a dbms_output package, and in that we have a function. This is a library package, and we have a function called put_line, which is used to print the line onto the screen. So like this, but this line will not come onto the screen unless and until you give this command, set server output on. Okay, so once you log into the session, once you do connect, after that you put this set server output on, and after that only you run the program with dbms output put line. Otherwise your output will not be displayed. The execution will be complete, fine, yes, but the output will not be displayed on the console. So here we learn about the dbms output package, and which offers a buffer size up to 1 million bytes, and information to this buffer can be written using put and put line statement. The difference between the two is put line appends a new line character at the end of the line, and it stores 3 different types of data. These are the data types which you can print with the help of dbms output put line. It does not support boolean data types. To enable, you have to write this command set server output on or set server output on size. You have to mention the buffer size. In the execution section, we know that it starts with the begin statement and ends with the end statement. And in the execution section, we can have various programming constructs like loops, conditional statement, SQL statements in the execution section. We have an exception handling section, which I told it is optional. This section is very much optional. And what is an exception? It is a runtime error thrown during dynamically when the program is being executed. It happens due to unpredictable data which the user has entered. Suppose you have declared a variable as number and user enters a character into that. In such cases, or you are searching a table and data in that table is not found, or you are trying to insert into records into a table and that table name is invalid. So in that case, you will get an exceptional error. To handle that exception, in case you don't want the program to shut down and you want the program to continue normally in spite of the exception, so you can write exception handling statements. We will learn about the exception handling statements later. Here just I am giving you an example. You can see here we have here a pl-sql block in which we have declared the name and price of two variables for the name and price of the product, and after that we have written a select statement. Select product name, unit price into these two variables, because select into statement is allowed inside the pl-sql block implicitly, from product where unit price less than 50. But suppose I want to say, that means my target is to print the names and price of that product where the price is less than 50. But suppose that there is no such product in the table whose price is less than 50. In that case, we get this kind of exception. Error at line number 1, no data found. So to prevent this exception, we can write an exception handling statement here. When no data found, then we can print this statement. In this case, we will not get that error. You can see we get a normal termination. There is no abnormal termination like we had in previous program. We have a normal termination of the program and we have a message warning to the user saying no product is found. So this is about the exception handling. With this, we are ending this basic structure of pl-sql block chapter. Please stay tuned to learn more of the topics regarding pl-sql. Thank you so much.